Welcome to Internet Quality Academy. The channel is for the quality control engineer, site engineer, and the civil engineer who are working in the construction field. In this channel, we are dealing with anything and everything which is required to get success in the construction. Today also, I'm going to discuss about a very important topics that every civil engineer should know because or every quality engineer should know. That is the mother of quality management. That is PDCA cycle. What is PDCA cycle? What is the brief history? How it is developed? And why it is important, and I will give a real life example of PDCA cycle. So stay tuned until the end to get the full information about the PDCA cycle. And if you are new in my channel, kindly subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon so that whenever I upload a new video, you will get immediate notification. So without wasting time, let's jump into the subject. That is PDCA cycle. That PDCA cycle stand for plan, do, check, act. This is the management principle or the quality management principle. On that basis, any product or service, whatever we are preparing, that quality enhancement can be possible. This is the mother of all quality management, that PDCA cycle or the plan, do, check, act cycle. So let's understand what is the history of the PDCA cycle or how it come to the picture. So first, the PDCA cycle is known as the Deming cycle or Sword cycle. Why? Because it was developed by the scientist or the statistician Stewart. It has roots in the early 20th century. It was originally developed by Walter S. Watt, a physicist and statistician working at Bell Labs. He introduced the concept of continuous process of quality improvement in the 1920s. So he is the father of the PDCA cycle. See, he introduced the process for the continuous improvement. Nowadays, we are all talking about the continual improvement or the continuous improvement. That means whatever the end product of any company, that is maybe a product or a service or both product or service, how it can be more and more improvement is there, so that whatever the requirement of the customer, that can be fulfilled or it can be exceeded, so that the customer is become happy, so there will be a more business. That is why the every company is developing or implementing this PDCA cycle into their quality management systems. So later, what is happening in 1920? However, the cycle become widely recognized after being figured in the field of quality management by Dr. W. Edwards Deming. Edward Deming is known as the quality guru or the management guru. He is the one first conceptualize about the quality management and the quality improvement, continuous improvement. Use the PDCA cycle as a systematic method for solving problems and improving process in organization. That means whenever is any organization is operating or delivering any product or the services, there is always chances of the defect. So how the defect can be minimized and the process can be redefined, or continuous improvement theory can be applied, that is the PDCA cycle. And that was developed by the Stewart and the W. Edward Demings. That is why sometimes it is called the Deming cycle also. So these are the background of the PDCA cycle. Let's see. Next part is why is PDCA cycle is important. Now every company are using the PDCA cycle into their quality management systems. Why they are using this PDCA cycle? If there is no benefit, yes, it has lot of benefits, and every organization is following the PDCA cycle. However, this ISO 9001 is a quality management system also based on the PDCA cycle that I will discuss later. So what is the benefit? The PDCA cycle is a powerful tool for continuous improvement in various industries, including construction, manufacturing, and services. Its importance lies in its ability to provide a structured approach to problem solving and process improvement. So it is a systematic approach and the process improvement. Suppose as a construction engineer, I can say, suppose we are doing a concrete process. Now we need to deliver the concrete as per the requirement. If there is no system and there is no process is developed, what will happen? The mixing will not be as per the requirement, placing will not be the as per requirement, and the end product will not be the as per the requirement. We will not get the desired strength, durability, whatever. It will be a problem. So this PDC cycle, okay, what plan. So what will be my plan according to the end product? Suppose we want to do the M50 grade of concrete. So what will be my plan? And what will be my, what that plan, how we are implementing at the site? What is my checkpoint? And after getting the result or the data in the checkpoint, how we can implement the process? That whole process is called the PDCA cycle. And in this process, always give the opportunity to increase or enhance the quality of the end product. That is why PDCA cycle is very much important. The next, it is improving efficiency. By systematically analyzing and improving process, the PDCA cycle helps reduces waste and increase efficiency. Now, if there is no systematic process, what will happen? In any organization, not a single person is working. There are a lot of people are working. So if there is no process, everybody will working as per their own. So what will happen? The efficiency will be reduced, waste will be increased, and the end product, that will not be as per the requirement, because everybody is running in the different direction. They are not running in the systematic way or in the single direction. The PDCA cycle give that efficiency, give that direction to the people, to the organization. If any organization is manufacturing something, so the PDCA cycle or the management principle give them the direction that if we are following this process, our end product will be as per the requirement. So it improve the efficiency. Otherwise, the waste will be more, the efficiency will be less. So this PDCA cycle help organization improve the efficiency of the worker and also reduces the waste, because waste is generating, and if it is waste is generating, that is against the environment. So our motto is to impact very less on the environment whenever we are dealing with any product or services. So this PDCA cycle also help us for the improving the environmental quality. That is also another ISO, that is environmental management system requirement, that is ISO 14001. That is also based on that PDCA cycle. So in this case, PDCA cycle help improving the efficiency, help reduces the waste, also it is protecting our environment. The next part is enhance quality. That is the main thing, and that is the quality management system principle. So through continuous testing and refinement, the cycle ensures the products and services meet or exceed customer expectations. So this is the ultimate goal for any company whenever they are developing any product or the services, or the product or services both, that their end product should meet the customer requirement or it should exceed the customer requirement. Then what will happen? If the customer is happy, the more business will come to the organization. That is why it is important to enhance quality. And why, how we can enhance the quality? That is the systematic process, systematic approach, the checkpoint, the audit point, and refinement of the process. No process is 100% accurate. So if there is any human error, if there is any machine error, if there is any process error, we will identify through this PDCA cycle, and we will implement into the process to the refinement, and again this quality will be enhanced. So what we plan, that means whatever we plan, we need to do at the project or at the factory or manufacturing plant. Then we need to check whether whatever plan and whatever we're doing, whether these are as per the requirement, or any defects is coming, that we need to check, and according to the check data, we need to refine the process, and it will be ultimately redefine the process and enhance the quality. That is why PDCA cycle is very much important. Then promote team collaboration. Now this is also important. See, in any organization, not a single person is working. There are people, so many peoples are in the organization, and they are working together in a common goal. Now if there is a no team form, then again there will be a problem. Suppose you are playing a football match and 11 people are running into the different direction. So what will happen? The teamwork will not be there, and eventually the team will lose the game. So the same is applied in the organization itself. We need to first collaborate a team. So how this PD cycle is a help for that? The cycle encourages team to work together in planning, executing, checking, and working on improvement, fostering a culture of collaboration. That means it is encouraging the people engagement. Without the people, it is impossible to finish the product. So they are, or the PDCA cycle is encouraging to people work together in a systematic manner, in a common manner, in a common goal, so that the end product meets the customer requirement or the client requirement. Then adapt to change. So in any industry, the everything is changing so rapidly. Technology is developing day by day. Now if you don't want to change your system in your process, or you want to adopt the technology in your process, then you will be running behind to the competitor. So you need to adopt the change, and the PDCA cycle, that is plan to check act, and this continuous improvement has given the opportunity to adopt the change. So the iterative nature of the PDCA cycle allows organization to quickly adopt or to change in the market or industry, ensuring long-term success. So this PDCA cycle nature is the continuous improvement. This plan, do, check, and act, and refine the process. So this continuous improvement process gives the organization sustain in the market for the long term. So that is why the PDCA cycle is included in quality management system for any sector or any type of company. The PDCA cycle is there. Wherever there is a product or services involved, the PDCA cycle is there. And implementing PDCA cycle, company are getting more and more sales and more business from the repetitive customer. That is why PDCA cycle is important in any company or any organization. The next part is, what is PDCA cycle? We already discussed about importance of PDCA cycle, history of PDCA cycle. Now, in the PDCA cycle, what I said, it is the basic of the ISO 9001. In the ISO 9001, this PDCA cycle is described like this. Let me zoom in. So here, what is saying? The first is customer and its context. That what type of organization is that? Then what is the customer requirement? In any organization, ultimately providing product or services, they are providing some product or services for the end user. So what is the customer requirement? That you need to know first. That is why it is saying the customer requirement. Then need and expectation of relevant interested parties. Now any project we cannot do by ourselves alone. We need the raw material, we need the supplier, we need the manpower. So what is their interest and how their interest can be conglomerated inside the projects for the common goal? That is the input. What the input we are getting in any organization for product or the services. First is what type of organizations, then what is the customer requirement, and the needs and expectations of relevant interested parties. Next is coming plan part. What is plan part? This is planning. We need to do the planning. Suppose we have a multi-storied building we need to construct. Now we need to plan from the foundation, from the approval, from the drawing. So every step has to be mentioned in the planning. So whatever planning and how we will execute, what is my process, how we'll do the concrete, how we'll do the block work, how will we check whenever the inspection is going on. So everything to be planned. So the first part of the PDC cycle, planning, that plan has to do. Then support and operation. Now we need to get the support from the higher management. So whatever the support we are getting from the higher management, that is also to be included, and operation. And after getting the planning and after getting the support from the higher management, we need to do now action part. So we need to do the our work. Now whenever we are doing, then we need to performance evaluation. What does it mean? That means suppose we are doing the concreting work. Now in the concreting work, whether we are doing as per the requirement or not, we need to check. So what do we need to check? We have the check point. We need to check what is the grade of concrete, what is the minimum quantity of cement, what is the aggregate quantity, what is the sand quantity, what is the admixture quantity, what is the temperature of concrete, what is the strength of the concrete, what is the density of the concrete. So these are all the checkpoint. Now if I find anything not as per the requirement, that means there is a problem in the process. Now we need to find out what is the problem, and when we find out the problem, then improvement. So whatever the problem we are finding out in our checkpoint or the performance evaluation, we need to incorporate into the our process or into our system. So again, there will be a redefinement or refinement of the process. So that is why plan, do, check, act, planning, support and operations, performance evaluations, check and improvement. And inside of these from PDCA cycle, the leadership, that means higher management, the leader people are there. So they will guide what to do and what not to do in the PDCA cycle. So they will implement this process and they will make the quality management systems in compliance with the PDCA cycle. And we need to follow whenever we are doing the project or any type of product or services. So in this process, we are giving the input and we are doing the PDCA cycle. And what will be the output? That is customer satisfaction or products and services. So if customer satisfaction is not there, there will be always feedback, and that feedback also will come into the picture or in the performance evaluations or in the act point. So with the help of the customer feedback, again we can redefine or continuous improvement can be possible. So these are the PDCA cycle which is described in the ISO 9001. Let's give an example of the PDCA cycle. Let's see one by one. Plan, do, check, act. Now in the plan, let me zoom out. Okay, so first in the plan part, what is my objective? My objective is to identify the problem or the improvement area and develop a plan to address it. So in the objective in the plan part, we need to find out what is my problem, what the risk can be associated, and we need to address it. So what are the steps involved? Define the problem, clearly state the issues or opportunity or improvement, then analyze the problem, use data and analyze tools to understand the root cause, then set goals, establish specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound objective, and then develop a plan. Outline the steps, resource, and timeline required to achieve the goal. So, first part is my objective is to find out what we need to do and what is the risk assessment, what is the problem can we find out, and on that basis we need to develop a plan and set a goal. So these are the plan part for the PDCA cycle. And the do. So what is the do part? This objective is implement the plan on a small scale to test its effectiveness. So whatever my output, say or directly we cannot go to the 10th floor. So what we need to redefine or we need to break it down so to a small steps. So that is why we need to implement it a small scale so that we can test it and we can refine the process. What are the steps involved? Execute the plan, carry out the planned activities on a pilot basis or in a controlled environment, then collect data, gather data and observations during the implementations to assess the plan's effectiveness, then monitor the progress, keep track and activities to ensure they are proceeding as planned. So whatever that we plan, we need to perform at the site. So that is the second part of the plan, do, check, act, PDCA cycle. Then check. What is my objective in the check part? Evaluate the result of the implementation of determine the plan was successful. So whatever we plan, whatever we did at the site, now we need to reevaluate, we need to check that whatever we plan and whatever we do, that is successful, so that it can be carry forward, or if anything required to refine the process, that should be refined and the continuous improvement should be there. So what is the steps involved? First, it is review data, analyze the data collected during the do phase to access performance against the goals, then compare the actual result with the expected outcomes to identify any discrepancies. Suppose I have planned to do the M50 grade of concrete in a small scale format. So now I have input that I need M50. Now, whatever we are getting, whether we are getting 49, 48, why there is a difference? Why we are getting less? That has to be find out what is the reason behind it, and it has to be incorporated into the process. Then identify lesson learned, determine what worked well and what needs improvement. So according to the checkpoint, according to the data whatever we are collecting, according to that we need to refine the process. That is the third point or the checkpoint. The next is act, or the last part, that implement changes based on the lesson learned and repeat the cycle for continuous improvement. So first we have planned, we have executed, and we check, and if we find out any discrepancies, So that discrepancy we need to address, and we need to redefine the process for the continuous improvement. So what is the steps involved? Standardize successful practice. If the plan was successful, implement the change on a larger scales and standardize then adjust and improvement. If the plan was not fully successful, make necessary adjustment and repeat the cycle. Then document changes, record the changes made and communicate them all relevant stakeholders. So whatever the checkpoint I have received, whatever the refine of the process or the continuous improvement is required, that to be adjusted and improved in the process, and that should be circulated to everyone involving in the process, so that they are also well aware what is the process that need to be communicated, or what is the process need to be followed whenever we are dealing the project. So these are the thing of the PDCA cycle, that plan, do, check, act. Now, I can give a small example from my construction industry. That is, suppose we are getting cracks in the concrete. Now, after getting the data and everything, we will find out that is a concrete curing is not the adequate. So how it can be conglomerate, or it can be find out using the PDCA cycle. Let's see. First is plan part. In the plan part, first, what is my objective? Prevent cracking in newly poured concrete slabs. So my objective in the plan part, that whatever concrete we are doing, there should not be no cracks. So what is the steps involved? First, identify the problem. The project team has noticed that the concrete slabs on construction site are developing cracks during the curing process, leading to costly repair and delays. So whatever the problem I identified, that after doing the concrete, wherever there is a concrete curing process, that time the crack is developed on the surface. So that is my problem. So problem is identified. Next is analyze the problem. After examining the situations, the team identifies that the cracks are likely caused by insufficient curing, leading to rapid moisture loss and thermal stress. So after getting and data and analyzing everything, that we can find out that there is a insufficient curing, so that there is a moisture loss and there is a crack. The root cause may include improper curing method, environmental conditions, and inadequate monitoring. So what can be the cause for this crack? Cause is the inadequate curing. But what is the inadequate curing? That can be the environmental condition, that can be curing method problem, that can be human problem, or the less curing, whatever. The next is set goals. The goal is to reduce the occurrence of cracks in newly poured concrete by 90% over the next 3 months. So I have find out the problem, I have find out the root cause, I have analyzed that one, and now I set the goal that 90% of the cracks to be within the 3 months to be reduced. So now we need to develop a plan. Then select curing method. So whatever the curing method we are applying, that need to be refined. Identify and test improving curing techniques, such as using curing blankets, maintaining a wet surface with water, or applying curing components. The next, training. Now we need to do the train to the people who are involving in the process. Only the developing a process, it is not will solve the purpose, because everybody has to know what is the duty and what they have to do at the site, or what they have to do in the process. So that is why training. Conduct training sessions for workers on the importance of curing and the correct techniques to be used. So we need to deliver the speech, and we need to tell them that this is the technique and this has to be implemented at the projects. Then monitoring. Now implementing a monitoring system to regularly check the moisture levels and temperature of the curing concrete. Now we need to do the monitoring part. That is why we need to check the moisture level, we need to check where the concrete is dying, we need to do feedback forms. So whenever every time we are doing the concrete, we need to tick and everything. Then resources, allocate the necessary resources to material, equipment, and personnel to implement these techniques. So whatever the process, whatever the resource is required for implementing our plan, that you need to be developed. So these are the plan part. Now, what is the do part for that? Do part is objective, implement a new curing method on a pilot basis to test their effectiveness. So I have find out the problem, I have analyzed the problem, I have find out the new curing method, I have trained the people, I have allocate the resources. Now we need to do the implement the new process. So What are the steps involved? Execute the plan on a specific section of the construction site. Apply the selected curing methods. For example, use wet curing blankets on one part of the slab, apply curing compound on other part, maintain constant moisture level through regular water sparing on a third section. So there are three methods we are implementing. So we need to understand in which method is more effective. So that which method is more effective, that we will incorporate into the systems. Then collect data, record the environmental conditions, moisture levels and temperature at regular intervals, observe the concrete for any signs of cracking during the process, and then monitor progress. So these are the do part. So there's next is the check part. Check part is evaluate the effectiveness of the new curing method. So we need to check whether we are again getting the cracks or not. So review data, compare result, and identify lesson learned. Determine which curing methods are most effective. So we have done this water blanket, we have done the water spraying with the chemical curing. Now we need to find out which method is the best, and that method has to implement into the process. And the last part is the act part, that is implement the successful method across the entire construction site and standardize the process. So whatever the process is there, less number of cracks we need to implement into the process. So these are the PDCA cycle, the basis of the ISO code 9001 and the quality management system. It is widely used in any type of organization, and I hope you find it useful. And if you find it useful, kindly subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon so that whenever I upload a new video, you will get immediate notification. And if you want to know anything more about quality control and construction, please let me know. I will come with more content like this. And thank you once again for watching me.